Hi, students. This is lecture number 3 for Music 1010, Music Appreciation Intro to Music. We're going to start today by looking at our module 1B, part 1. Let's see here. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we'll be able to look at that together. If we go to our course module here, we can see we're going to talk about melody, harmony, and notation. Your assignment sheet at the top of the module has a huge vocabulary list. So we're going to go over some of that vocabulary. You will have due on Wednesday of this week a vocabulary assignment that will include a lot of these words. I'm going to make the screen bigger so we can see them all. Let's see here. Look at all those. So while we're talking about melody, you're going to have to know things like what melodies are made of. Melodies are made of steps or leaps or other different intervals, and we'll listen for those in especially Somewhere Over the Rainbow, because its key musical factor, the reason it's in your listening samples, is because of its lovely melody. We'll learn what the word phrase is in music, arpeggio, steps, leaps, interval. All right, so always look at your vocabulary list on your assignment sheet and commit those to memory. Take notes from your reading. Pay attention to those, because you can't talk about music, as we said, which you will be called on to do in your forum. You can't do that if you don't have the vocabulary at hand. So let's look at, we've looked at the assignment sheet, the vocabulary. You're going to be reading chapters 4 through 6. Your first listening sample, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, as I said, has a lovely melody that starts with an octave leap, and then it's got different sized intervals. Let's talk about intervals for a minute. We'll stop sharing. Intervals can be seconds, ascending seconds going up, that's a step. A third, an ascending third, major third, ascending minor third, ascending fourth, ascending fifth, etc., until we get up to 8. And there are intervals that are even wider than that, but Somewhere Over the Rainbow starts with an ascending octave or an ascending eighth. Then a step down, third down. So we talk about melody in terms of the intervals involved. We can also talk about melody in terms of phrasing. You wouldn't dare take a breath in the middle of that first phrase, or it would sound choppy and hard to understand. So a phrase mark in your scores that you look at, your listening outlines, is a long, like rainbow curvy line that tells the player to not make a hole or not breathe in the middle of that melody, or you'll destroy it. So musicians are trained to take breaths that carry them through the phrase. Look at those phrase marks, and you can sing along and try not to breathe until you get to the end of that first phrase, which ends with the word high. Somewhere over the rainbow, way Then you can take a breath. And I took a tiny breath in the middle of that phrase because there was a comma in the text, but basically you want that phrase to last. So we've got a legato phrase, very smooth, very connected, made of all these different intervals. The second part of the song doesn't have those long, those wide attached leaps. It's just made of thirds. And a second. So it's different. And that's why we call it the B section. And then the song returns to A again with the long, arching, beautiful legato melody. Yes, so melody is the key musical factor of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That's why people listen to it. That's why people love it. The second topic for this week, the second major quality of notes that are played simultaneously is harmony. And harmony is how notes sound when they're played at the same time. Harmonies can be consonant or stable. Chords, those are different chords. Chords can be triads when we play 3 notes at a time. There's 1, 2, 3 together. That's a triad. Triangle, tricycle, 3 notes. That's a consonant harmony. And it happens to be major, happy. This one is minor, sad. But it's also consonant, it's stable sounding. Dissonant harmony, that could go anywhere. That doesn't sound stable. And your Chopin etude, that you're listening to this week, has unstable dissonant harmony in the left hand. Those triads, they could go anywhere. They express discontent and instability. Chopin was famous for that. That's the key musical factor of your etude in E minor is the harmonies in the left hand. And you'll be able to see that on the page. So we have triads, we have consonants, stable, we have dissonance, unstable, and we have major, happy, and minor, kind of sad or longing. The third thing that your module is about this week is notation. And there are lots of vocabulary around notation. Let's share the screen again, and I'll do a whiteboard demonstration that will teach you some of the vocabulary in your module, in your vocabulary list. You know, I don't expect everyone in the class to be able to read music, but notation is about how we write music down. And it helps to kind of know what you're looking at because you have your wonderful listening outlines. My glasses were reflecting on. You'll have your wonderful listening outlines where you'll see the notes on the page. And I'd like you to be able to get around a little bit visually that way. So let's share our screen again. And I'm going to try to get a whiteboard going and just tell you what things are called when you're looking at a page of music. So again, you can talk about that in your forum. Okay, so hang on, share screen, whiteboard. All right, so let's talk about Let's see. Let me draw a staff. I want a straight line. So in music, what musicians look at when they're playing, some musicians just play by ear. They never learn to read music. I think it's best to be able to play by ear and by reading. It just makes you more versatile as a musician. That's a staff in music. It has 5 lines and 4 spaces that are connected like this. And there's always a bunch of staves or staves, is the plural, on any page. Let's do a couple here. So 5 lines and 4 spaces. This is where the notes live. They live in and around these staves. So 1 staff, 2 staves. When 2 staves are connected, like this, they're called a grand staff. For piano players, this is your left hand down here, the bottom one, and the right hand generally reads from the top staff. So let's talk about we see, let's get a curvy line here. We've got a treble clef, that's called a clef. Treble clefs are for high instruments, or the right hand on the piano, and bass clef is for low notes. So that is a grand staff with a treble clef and a bass clef, not superbly drawn, but recognizable. We have key signatures at the beginning of any piece. Here's the key of, let's do D major, 2 sharps. I'm drawing a key signature, and it indicates that this piece will end either on D or B. D major sounds like this. Here's a scale, a D major scale, that is putting an F sharp and a C sharp. So the key signature tells you where you're going to end up. It tells you what the central tone of the piece is, D or B minor. Every key signature stands for a major and a minor key. So D in this piece is called the tonic tone. It's home. It's where you're going to end up. So that's key signature. It tells the musicians which sharps and flats to play. These are called sharps. Here's another key signature. This one, let's erase. I think I'll just undo. Here's another key signature. Here's F major. So home key, the song will end on F. Or maybe D if we do D minor. So those are 2 examples of key signatures. Here is a G and a B flat, because this key signature tells us we have to make it flat. So I'm going to play these 2 notes. First, I'm going to play them legato. Again. They're connected because of this. Here it is in the bass clef, same 2 notes. I'm going to play these. Instead of playing them legato, I'm going to play them staccato. And they're going to be low pitch because those are staccato. So in melody, we can either have legato notes or staccato notes. Here's a triad. Let's see. We talked about chords. Triads have 3 notes. They're all played at the same time. That's a G minor triad. Here's a chord or a triad in the left hand, or low notes. It is, let's play this one staccato. Let's put a dot, and we're going to play this major triad. Staccato. Staccato means short, like pokey. Those are staccato consonant chords. Here's some staccato dissonant chords. Okay. One thing, another signature that pieces have, tell you what meter it's in. It's called a time signature. These are numbers that appear at the beginning of a piece. There's a time signature. It tells you that the meter is going to be triple, and we'll get into that more next week. But this song will have 3 beats per measure. A measure in this piece would be every 3 beats, there'd be a vertical line called a bar line. So if we make this one black, make it a quarter note, then we'll have 3 beats in a measure. We've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Another bar line here and dots to make these 3 beats. So there is a piece in F major. It's got an F major key signature and a triple meter time signature. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Notice the dots beside the note mean to hold it longer, and notes on top or underneath a note mean to play it short, staccato. Okay, so that is a lot of harmony, melody, and notation vocabulary for you to think about. So I'm not going to give you any more. That's already a lot. Enjoy listening this week, guys. The 3 pieces that you're listening to are just lovely, and they all have a different key musical factor. The factor for Somewhere Over the Rainbow is melody. The factor for the Chopin Etude is harmony. Remember, it's got dissonant harmonies. And the Bourrée by Bach, the lute, the dance is played on the lute. Its key musical factor is form. It's an A-B form binary. The A section is different than B. So read your text. As I said, these lectures don't cover everything. They're in addition to your reading. So take a look at those pieces, and hopefully this video helped you understand more what's going on there. So have fun with those pieces. They are great. See you next time. Bye.